A district judge granting a legal win for the border wall moments ago. The president tweeting this: "I have decided that sections of the wall that California wants to build now will not be built until the whole wall is approved." Big victory yesterday with ruling from the courts that allows us to proceed. Our country must have border security.
This as ICE arrests more than 150 illegals in Northern California, but reveals nearly 900 avoided deportation and says a sanctuary city mayor's warning a couple of days ago may be to blame after giving them a heads up that the raids were coming.
Well, let's find out the facts. Here with more is Acting Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Iceman himself, Tom Homan. Tom, did that mayor hurt that enforcement effort?
Oh, absolutely. You know, what she did is no better than a gang lookout yelling police when a police cruiser comes in the neighborhood, except she did it to the entire community. I mean, it's beyond the pale. I've been doing this for 34 years, and this is a whole new low to intentionally warn criminals that law enforcement's coming. I just can't believe it happened.
Mr. Homan, we had a guy on a couple of days ago, Don Rosenberg, whose son was killed by an illegal. He suggested that what she did was obstruction of justice.
Well, the Department of Justice is reviewing the incident, and we'll see what they come back with. I think what she did is intentionally put law enforcement officers at risk. Look, being a law enforcement officer is already dangerous enough, but to give the criminals a heads up that we're coming in the next 24 hours increases that risk, puts them, you're talking about, these are American heroes that strap a gun to their hip every day to defend this nation. And to tell the criminals we're coming in the next 24 hours, it's just incredible. And, you know, I watched her statement when she says her priority is the safety of her community. Right. Well, what she did had exact opposite effect. There's over 800 significant public safety threat criminals. These are people that are here illegally already and committed yet another crime, been convicted of a crime. She gave them warning, and there's 800 that we were unable to locate because of that warning. So that community is a lot less safe than it would have been.
Tom, we've heard the argument that it seems some of these lawmakers care more about the illegals than they do the legals, the tax-paying citizens. And when I heard you a few nights ago, I think it was on Shannon Bream's show, you were talking about what this actually means for your agents and how it is benefiting the illegals and not the legals, and your agents that are in many cases fighting for their lives when they go into these situations. Tell the people at home what this means for your agents, how life has changed for them.
Look, our assaulting officers are up over 50% this year. Failure to comply, which means we have to forcibly arrest somebody, they won't comply with our orders, is up over 100%. Our officers, like I said, they leave the safety and security of their home every day and put their lives on the line to defend this country and defend their communities. And when politicians choose to take care of their political ambitions and make political statements on the backs of law enforcement, it's just terrible. It makes our job more difficult. Right. But I'll say this to the mayor and every other politician that wants to vilify the men and women of ICE: we're not going away. We're going to keep enforcing the law. If you look at what we've done the past year under this president, we have really turned the situation around. There was a 45-year low on illegal border crossings this year under this president's leadership. We have shown that if you enforce the laws the way they're written, it has an effect.
Right. I understand that border crossing is going up now because they have not seen the laws come out as hard as you guys have been working. But Tom, give me an idea of how you prioritize, because there's 11 million estimated, maybe more, here illegally. How do you decide who to pick up and who to get?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question, because we see a lot of media in the mayor saying she's protecting families. Let's talk about specifically California. And last year in FY17, we arrested over 20,000 illegal aliens in California. 81% of those illegal aliens committed yet another crime, were a convicted criminal. They committed one other crime other than entering the country illegally, which is a crime. So 80% of the 20,000 we arrested in California were criminals. If you look at the operation we did in Los Angeles just a couple of weeks ago, we arrested several hundred aliens there, and 88% of them were criminals. So we concentrate on criminals. The numbers speak for themselves. And the target list for San Francisco was the vast majority of them were criminals, and the vast majority of them that we could not locate, they're in to win because they were given a warning.
All right, Tom, we went down to the border with the vice president when he was there. I think it was a week, 2 weeks ago. And there's a picture of it with a portion of the border that has the wall. The president made two comments recently. Number one, that he wants, this was the one this morning that he tweeted, that he doesn't want to build portions of the wall like we see there anymore. He wants the entire wall to be funded before he starts to build, A. B, he's mentioned pulling ICE, pulling your agents out of the state of California and sanctuary cities and sanctuary states because they're not complying with federal laws. What do you think about those two statements from the president?
Well, I can say, look, I've been around a long time. Every place they built a wall, it has worked. You know, 100% of the time, wherever they built the wall, illegal crossings went down. So we certainly need the wall. I mean, and I know a lot of people complain about the price of the wall, but what price are you going to put on national security and public safety?
But do you think it should all be built at once or in sections?
Well, I don't think you can build a whole wall at once. It's a big border, but I think we should start building a wall as soon as possible. As far as removing ICE agents from California, I understand the president's frustration. I'm equally frustrated. I'm angry. I'm angry at the point that politicians not only vilify the fine men and women of ICE, now they're warning criminals we're coming and putting them at, you know, greater harm. Look, I don't want to abandon the American citizens in California. You know, after the last couple of weeks, I've gotten hundreds of emails from California residents asking us not to abandon them. There's a lot of good people in California that want us to enforce the laws. And like you mentioned Don Roseberg, here's a gentleman that I know who lost a child to alien crime. We can't turn our backs on these people.
How frustrating is it for you? And I know you're a man in law enforcement, so you don't want to get political. But the people who work in that building behind you, they're the ones who are, for political reasons, whatever their reasons are, they're not moving on border security and border safety.
Look, we made huge impact this year. Like I said, a 45-year low at one point last year in illegal border crossings. We have shown if we enforce the laws, if there's a consequence and a deterrence to illegal activity, that illegal activity will subside. What we need Congress to do, we sent a whole list of priority changes up there, legislative changes. They need to make some tough decisions. Do they want to fix this problem, or do they want to kick the can down the road? We have the willpower and the knowledge to fix this for once and for all, rather than kicking that can. But Congress needs to get together and make some tough decisions to solve this problem once and for all.
Yeah, I hope they're listening. All right. Thomas Homan, Acting ICE Director. Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
All right.